Proposal templates is going to save you a bunch of time if you are creating the same text around the actual content of the quote before and after it, you setting up payment schedules. It's covered on the growth plan and above, and I'm going to talk you through it now. So if I go to the top right-hand corner here and templates, I'm going to see event templates, but also proposal templates. I've already created one for a heat pump install that I'll take you through because this is probably more complicated than, say, a solar install where you don't have the complexity of the bus grant, so the boiler upgrade scheme grant, which I believe is £7,500 in England and Wales at the moment. So if I click on that, it's going to show me the view, but if I'm creating a new one or I'm editing it, I'm going to create edit there. It's got the template name, heat pump install. This would be an internal description, and I'm going to say hi, and I've put in the customer's name as a variable in there. If there are other variables you want to use, let us know. We might be able to add them there. And this is just a demo of some text that you might want to include above and notes below the actual prices and the content there. You can put in links. You can use these to format it. If you're a little bit more technical and you know Markdown, you can use shortcuts in there. Then we've got the number of days that it's valid for, and then we've got the payment schedule. Now, I can't have stages adding up to more than 100%. For a solar install, I might want to put all of the stages in. For a heat pump, for example, I might need to edit it depending on the bus grant, because if you're following the so the REC guidelines, then you can't take more than 60% up front, but the 60% excludes the bus grant. So I might want to take 25% as a deposit, 35% 3 weeks prior to install. So that's kind of following the guidelines. But I'll show you a spreadsheet on how you can calculate the difference, because the complexity here is £7,500 is going to come off, and it's whether the final 40% will be more or less than £7,500. If the 40% is less than £7,500, then the boiler upgrade scheme will actually cover the final payment, and you potentially need to take something off payment number 2, so you're not having to deal with refunds, etc. If it's more, I will need a final stage there. So I can add stages and I can edit them also when I actually go to create the proposal. You've also got these callouts, so this goes below the payment box, and this one goes on the right hand side next to the payment summary, just to make it clear for the customer. Now, if you want to, you can apply the bus grant up front and then change it, say if they weren't approved, but this is probably the safer way round of doing it. So I'd save the proposal template. Then if I'm going to create a test project here, I'm going to create one for existing customer that I've got here, create it. Now I'm going to go to proposals, and because create proposal, and because I've got a template, it's going to let me choose from them. If I didn't want to use it, I click start from scratch. So I go heat pump template install, and that's going to pre-populate it here. I can change whether it's called a quote or an estimate. That's just the title at the top. So it puts the valid 4 days in there, the summary alert, which is on the template. The payment options, obviously, that's just standard down the right-hand side. It's put the customer's name in there. I can edit this. It's got the links in there, and it's got that payment schedule. Now, in this case, I'm going to want to adjust these because the total payment amount, let's add some items. Let's make it simple. We're not going to add any multiple choice or optional extras in there, but obviously you can do that. If I click on these, I can go and change these here. So I go back to the quote, and if I go labour, okay, so this is my very simple summary, 16,799, so it calculates these values here. Now I'm going to use the spreadsheet, which I can share with you, of which I've put in the total amount excluding the grant, and these are the stages if there was no grant split out. Now what I can see is that final stage is less than £7,500. What that means is, I could change the grant amount, but assuming it's 7.5, what that means is stage 3 will be covered, and I will also need to reduce stage 2, because otherwise I'm going to have to deal with refunds, etc. So I need to make 30.35 this stage here, and I'm not going to put in an additional stage because I know after I apply the bus grant, it will make the project fully paid. So that is now ready to go. Obviously, if I want to add any attachments in there, I can do that here, but I can also, from the file section, share them via the client portal. So I'm going to preview this. It's got my silly little logo in there. If I want to change this template, I can do that via the template section. I've got the total payable amount, and this makes it clear to the customer. The bus grant will come off that. It's got the items, obviously, that are added and the payment schedule. And now I can send that, and then I can show you what that looks like from the customer's point of view. So this is the customer taken direct to the proposal. Obviously, you might want to format this a bit better than me, but you've got that in there. You've got the items in the quote and the notes and the payment box. I've obviously got my accreditations in here as well. So what happens is if they sign to accept, they can just do that, or they can type their name if they're on a desktop. So I'm just going to do that. And then that will take me directly to the invoice. So that's got the 25% deposit ready to go. As it's on the client portal, I can step back to the overview and see everything. But now on this invoice, I can make a payment either via bank transfer or card, because those are the options I selected. So that obviously shows me the email that was sent to the customer, and should be a very simple overview of how proposal templates work. So I can add as many as I want. I'm sure if you're not doing heat pump installs, it might be a little bit simpler, but that's how it's done.